Thank you for joining me for another one today, guys and gals. Today we are jumping right into it. There's a lot to cover. It's been a busy 36 hours. A lot to say. Debate, quick thoughts. I'm not going to dive way into the debate. I know that it's probably been beat like to death. I got to say a little bit about it. We'll do that at the end. Mostly though, James Comey went before the Senate today. There's a lot that happened that I want to talk about. I know most of you aren't going to go spend hours going through it. So I'm going to give you the RedRacer version. We're doing that right now. I'm Jared. This is RedRacer Video, formerly a car vlogger. Now I'm an independent citizen journalist. You all make that possible by visiting RedRacerVideo.com. There's a link down below the video in the description where you can find our free Kyle t-shirts. You can also find our free Kyle tumblers, laser engraved, very nice tumblers. We've got tumblers that say fake news, unmasked, united we stand. Our unmasked t-shirts that you guys have all made so popular, our unmasked hoodies. Keep an eye on the website. We're adding stuff all the time. Thank you everyone who supports the channel. I am one of the channel getting kicked in the teeth by YouTube. They take my subscribers away. I get messages all the time. My views are getting floored. I can only do this because you all continue to help me out. Thank you so much. Down below the video, in the description, a place where you can go to do that. All right, here we go. One more thing I've got to dive into really quickly before we say anything else. Arizona, October 22nd through the 24th. Me and a bunch of the bakers are going to be down there. Come see us. We're going to have a rally while we're there. We're going to have a speaking event, a dinner. You're all going to be able to come hang out. And we're going to, it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big deal. We're going to spend a lot of time getting to know people. We want to introduce ourselves to people. We want to meet a lot of people. We want to keep this thing going, keep the movement alive. General Flynn told us to get involved. This is how we're getting involved. Also, a link down below if you guys want to come join us in Arizona for that. All right, here we go. We're going to start off by the Comey stuff today, or with the Comey stuff today. The first thing I'm going to say is this. How does James Comey, the director of the FBI, not just like a dude who happened to be around the FBI or knew some stuff about the FBI, the director of the FBI, during what is arguably the most important investigation this country has ever seen. They keep trying to downplay it and say Carter Page is a nobody. This was no big deal. BS. You went after dude because he was around Trump. You put him into your little plot. That's why you started with him. You started with him because you had to start with somebody small so you could make this argument. We're not stupid. But how did every time you got asked about what happened in the FBI under your direction, how were you able to say, well, the Horowitz report found, or, well, so-and-so found, or it's been reported as? That's not what we're here for, Jim Comey. This is your hearing. This is your testimony in front of the Senate, dude. We're not here to find out what Horowitz said. We're not asking about Horowitz. We weren't here to listen to all the Democratic senators try and lie to us again and convince us that our president's a Russian and that they aren't the one burning down the country. But they still did it. Every time somebody got an opportunity, not every time, but a lot of times the people got an opportunity to ask tough questions, they didn't. And every time Comey had to actually give testimony, he gave someone else's testimony. What the hell is that? Since when can we do that? And since when do all these people let him do that? Go back at him, make him answer the questions. Anyhow, moving on. Again, there was an alarming number of times where his answer was the Horowitz report found, and that was not okay. Democratic senators, this is something that I saw. Again, some very, very common themes, obvious themes, some things that all the senators got together. I'm sure they got their news report from the guy that shall remain nameless because I don't want to get my video demonetized. But I have a hunch that they all got a message, a communication of sorts from somebody saying, we're going to go after Trump for this during this hearing. We're going to go after Trump for this during this hearing. We're going to make sure everybody thinks the country's still racist. And we're going to make them think that all the racists are the one burning the country down and killing everybody. That's obviously what their plan was. And I'm going to show you as we go on throughout this. The Democratic senators did nothing other than attack the president every time they were there. And again, we were here to hear testimony. This was a Senate hearing to hear testimony from Jim Comey, not to campaign against Donald Trump. They spent all of their time trying to reconvince us, the public, that there's even a shred of anything in the Russia thing. And again, they all did that same thing. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I want to re-key in just for a quick second on the fact that, and early on in the hearing, I really was mad at Lindsey Graham. As things went on, he got a little more heated a couple of times. I still think the proof is going to be in the pudding, and we'll see what happens after this. And we'll end on something that I think I'll leave you guys on a cliffhanger about Lindsey Graham. But a lot of Republican senators, in my opinion, let Jim Comey and the Democratic senators off easy today. And it was just another illustration, again, in just my opinion, that we have some Republican senators that allow all of this to happen and do nothing to stop it. Some of this is them letting to have stuff play out. I understand that. Democratic and Republican senators keyed in on the fact there is still stuff in all of this that is not declassified. The Democratic senators or representatives tried to convince us that they're hiding the stuff that makes Trump look bad, but I'm sorry, folks. They have attacked and attacked and attacked now for 4 years. If there was anything, dude would be gone. Like, they tried to impeach him, right? And they couldn't even impeach him on any of this stuff because they haven't made anything stick on anyone. But again, I believe a lot of what is happening in our country and a lot of the stagnant progress, could it be part of the plan? Could it be that there's so many other things and so many other balls in the air and that all this information is part of so many other investigations? Yes. And if that stuff's all classified and can't be used, then it can't. And so real investigations don't have leaks and all these different things. But I, again, came away today feeling a lot like Republican senators let us down in a number of situations. And there were some ones that nailed it, and I'm going to give them some props. But let's move on. Senator Durbin, I don't know what state he's from, but whoever voted that A-head into government, you owe all of us an apology, and you better vote him out next time around because he is an idiot. But he stayed true to deep state and democratic form, and he did the exact same thing and said that we should be focused on the 2020 election. And then he told us that Putin wants Trump to win. So that's how he decided to use his time. Not to investigate anything, not to point out the blatantly obvious things that have been declassified that Comey and everyone under him and above him did during Crossfire Hurricane to commit treason against a duly elected president. Didn't want to talk about any of that stuff. This dude just wanted to remind us that Trump's involved with the Russians and Putin wants Trump to win. Obviously just Democrating against our president and Democrating for whichever puppet they end up putting in at the end, and I still don't think it'll be Joe Biden. Senator Durbin also pointed out that there were a couple of people that the Democrats wanted to still subpoena that they were denied to subpoena. And so he was trying to say that because we didn't subpoena these extra couple of people, that this whole thing was a farce. So, like hundreds of people, $25 to $30 million, years of resources, a 3-star general's life dragged through the mud, countless other people's lives ruined, including a bunch of the president's family, all these different people's lives ruined, and all this stuff that they did, and they found nothing. And that's really still your complaint here, is that we didn't subpoena enough of the people in this BS story that you all tried to pitch to everybody. And remind everyone out there, for the people who have forgotten, their whole thing was a lie, paid for by Hillary Clinton and the DNC from a known Russian spy, a Russian spy that the Democrats had used, or previously, the FBI had used previously in other cases. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. Not only stuff that we're finding right now and has been coming up a lot as of late, not only is this stuff showing that this was a political hit job, but this dude still thinks somehow that we need more people to be subpoenaed. This all shows how desperate these people are and how desperate they look in all of this. They have no more ammunition, folks. If they had ammunition, if there was anything on President Trump to remove him, to get people to just not vote for him, to do it the right way, they wouldn't be trying to steal elections through the mail. To anybody out there saying, oh, that's not proven, you can't unprove ballots found in ditches and garbage cans that are all for Donald Trump and the Republicans. I'm sorry, that doesn't get explained away. But again, they all think that we should be focused on the 2020 election, and that the real problem isn't them trying to steal things through the 2020 election. it was bad. There was honestly not a whole lot of productive information that came out of today. For those of you that are like, man, is there any like meat and potatoes? No, this is really honestly me just pointing out to you all how pathetic our government is right now and how much we need to change it. How important it is that we all get out and vote and change it. Our president told us to go out to the polls, to the Democratic and to the media morons out there that try to spin everyone up and say that means the president was trying to tell racists to go kill people. No. He was telling all of us, all of the Americans, regardless of our race, color, or creed, that we all need to go to the polls this year because it's more important than ever. They're trying to spin that into him, trying to get him. They're saying he is telling people to attack people when they themselves are the ones doing all this. I'm just going to get back to my notes. We got to keep going. Comey continues to say that I'm not going to address your long preamble. With a lot of the questions, and everyone does this, all the senators, before they ask a question, they kind of set up their question, they frame their question, and then they ask their question, right? So every time they did that to Comey today, and they do this in every hearing. I've watched a lot of these now. Not like everyone, but in the last few years, a lot. Comey says, well, I'm not going to agree with your long preamble, but then he'll answer like a teeny part of the question. Or he'll say, I'm not going to answer that long preamble, or I'm not going to answer the way you pre-phrase it, or whatever. He essentially just told them, I'm not going to answer all your questions. Where have we heard that before? Oh, that's right. The Mueller hearing, when Mueller had to come and answer for his report. So just like when Mueller had a report, it was the Mueller report. It was his report. Mueller knew nothing about the report. Oddly enough, in Comey's FBI, because he was the director of the FBI, he also knew nothing that happened during the time that he was in charge of it. Weird. Just something to keep track of. Just something to notice, right? Then he would go on and let me reread this so I don't screw this up. So what he was saying is that he wasn't going to answer the questions, and then he would go on to give us some no answer. That's what happened. I just want to make sure I was clear with that because I know I rambled. Another thing that happened that I noticed, every time Comey he ducked out of countless questions by saying, you're asking me to speculate and I won't speculate. Or, I haven't been in the FBI for some time now, so I can't speculate. Or, I'm just a private citizen now, so my opinion on that matter doesn't mean anything now. In the same situations, whenever the Democrats would ask Comey to speculate on anything that would make Trump look bad, he had no problem answering those questions, no problem filling in those blanks, and no problem filling in the gray area on those situations. Whenever it was, hey, is Trump a racist? Absolutely. Do you think that this thing Trump said was racist? Yes, absolutely. He was spreading gas on the racist fire that is America right now. But if it was anything that he had to speculate or answer about an investigation that was run in his FBI, no. I don't want to say anything that is speculation there. But whoa, you need me to call Trump a racist? Yep, absolutely. That sounds racist to me. I'm not sure. Surely sounded racist to me. I'm not positive. I'm not an FBI guy anymore. But yeah, Trump's a racist. I can tell you that for sure. It was really, really bad. I want to remind everybody, this is about a criminal investigation now. This is not just like some Republican hit job. This is now a criminal investigation. There are indictments coming. There has already been an indictment and a guilty plea as a result of this. Kevin Kleinsmith, a lawyer in the FBI under Jim Comey, pled guilty to changing an email that started this whole thing, that started the FISA warrants against Carter Page, which was just the beginning of all of it. This thing fell apart at hour 1, and we are still here. And James Comey can't answer a single question. Senator Durbin said the American people don't care about the dossier that was written 5 or 6 years ago. And he wasn't the only one. Multiple people said this. Why are we still here talking about this dossier? This dumb dossier. So he said, nobody cares about a dossier in America that was written 5 or 6 years ago. The dossier that destroyed a 3-star general's life, the dossier that has destroyed countless other people's lives, including all of the American people who've had to live through this now. Because make no mistake about it, this virus is all part of this whole same plan. None of the people care about this, dude. The dossier that cost the American taxpayers $25 to $30 million. The dossier that was an attempt to overthrow a president that we elected? We don't care about that dossier? Please, we do. I think we do. And it's not just me. It's not just white folk. It's not just men. It's not just women. There are countless people. I'm going to make another plug. There is a festival, a Great Awakening festival, the BaQery and myself will be at. A lot of people, a lot of guest speakers. I'm in my mind, there's only like 2 or 3 of us that are white men, the hated group. The rest of them are women and many of them ethnic, believe it or not. But this is just so sadly pathetic. Him trying to decide who the American people are, for one, and what those American people believe. But I'm here to tell you, they do want to know about the dossier, and they do want to know what has happened. We all want to know where this led and how they're able to spy on Americans, and they spied on countless of us. And a bunch of you watching this video, they spied on you too. But let's keep moving. Make no mistake about it, Mr. Durbin, we do care about the dossier. Senator Whitehouse came up, and he kept hanging his hat on the fact that the Ratcliffe declassified information. Anybody that missed that, Ratcliffe is declassifying stuff day by day in the last couple of days that are just, it's not good. It's showing more and more how this was a hit job, how anytime there was information about Hillary that was out there to be investigated, they just walked away. And anytime there was information about Trump to be investigated, they just beat it to death, up to and including changing emails and lying to FISA judges to get warrants. But again, back to what Senator Whitehouse said, he kept hanging his hat on the fact that the Ratcliffe information only speculated that they had found out that it was known that Hillary had people in her campaign that wanted to use Russian disinformation against Trump. Whether that ended up being true or not, you'll never know because you didn't go find out. Why? Because it didn't hurt Trump. It hurt Hillary. And the last thing you're going to go is go and do that. We're not this stupid. Senator Klobuchar, you all, if you don't know who she is, very, very left, and she went on and did her thing. She pointed out that we shouldn't be having this hearing today also. She said, this is my speculation, of course not. Why would they want us looking at their crimes? Because again, this is all about their crimes now. This is about what they all did knowingly. This isn't just Comey. This isn't just Obama. This isn't just Biden. This isn't just Loretta Lynch. This isn't just any of them. This is people in the media. This is people in the Senate. It's people in the House. This is people in your local elections, believe it or not. This hits close to home. But again, of course she doesn't want us doing. That's the last thing she wants us doing. And then she went on to make sure and point out again, everybody make sure you're still scared of the virus. It kills 850 people a day, and it closes 800 businesses every day. 2 things I'm going to say to that. Does it kill 850 people a day? And of those 850 people, what are the ages of those people? How many comorbidities have those people had? I bet you those people had, on average, 2 to 3 comorbidities, and I bet you almost every single one of those deaths was somebody in the 94.6 group, which is like 78 plus. But again, they made sure to tell us Trump's failing on this virus is killing everybody, and this virus is closing down all these businesses. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I want to point something out to everyone that is watching this and anyone that may or may not have any kind of an inkling to ever run for Senate, be in Senate, run for the House, whatever it is. We see what's going on. And when I say we, I mean the American people. We know what's going on. Stick to the issues. When they have these hearings, and you all keep telling us, we shouldn't be having this hearing. We should be looking at this. Tough titty. We are having this hearing. Stick to the issue. Comey committed treason. Many other people did as well. And it's all being brought to light whether you like it or not. Stick to the issues. Blumenthal, another left puppet. Somebody who I'm sure is owned. I don't know why. I haven't done the exact homework on him yet. But he shows us his true colors. He used his time to ask Comey if we have white supremacy problems in our country. What a general question. Do we have white supremacy problems in our country? Again, just a speculation situation, but Comey had no problem saying, yes, his memory of all of these cases that Blumenthal used in the last, I don't know how many years, where they have been able to try and say this was somebody from the right. Comey's recollection of all of these cases that Blumenthal mentioned, his recollection of these cases was like, bing, bing, bing. Yep. Oh, yeah. I remember those. And yep, I remember those cases being racist cases for sure. Minutes after Comey tried to tell us he couldn't remember anything about this case that was way more important than these other cases because it had to do with an election and a president that was only a year, 2, 3 years ago. Can't remember anything about those. But all these racist cases that Blumenthal's bringing up, oh yeah, yep, I remember all of those. And yeah, for sure, all of those were racists. All Trump's fault. Tell me you guys see this stuff. Please tell me you see this. Blumenthal also used his time to low-key try and tell the people that are brainwashed, that are racist, not to stand by. I want you guys to go watch. Again, if I forget to link it down here because I'm a stoner, all you got to do is go and look up Comey Testimony or Comey Hearing. It's very easy to find. Skip forward 3/4 of the way. Find the part where Blumenthal talked. It is very, very, very easy to see what these people are trying to do, how guilty they are, and who owns them. The Democrats' new lie is that Trump is now broke. This is great. This is the new thing you can see that's being brought out. We know they're going to go after his taxes and everything like crazy again. But now, this is the other reason we can't trust Trump, because they said this numerous times. There's this new leak or this new information out there or something that Trump owes $400 million to someone in another country. Really quickly, even if he did, I don't care. Trump has multi-million and billion-dollar endeavors all over the globe. He could owe some money or could have some businesses where there's money transactions where there could be that. This dude's worth billions. He's lost more than $1 billion since he's been the president. So even if he did have a dealing somewhere where it was another country and there was $400 million owed, that wouldn't necessarily just disqualify him with me. But this is stupid speculation stuff, I'm sure we'll find out. And it's obviously their new lie because multiple Democratic senators brought this up. So I'm sure you'll all hear more about this going forward. Another thing that I really, really got a kick out of, and by got a kick out of, I mean I laughed about it so that I didn't lose my mind at how pissed off I am at the people we've elected to represent us. Because remember, these are not our bosses. These people do not own us. We own them. They work for us. We vote them in. They work for us. If we wanted, we could go remove them physically from office. I'm not saying we should. This is not a call. I'm sure the Democrats will run crazy with that. All I'm saying is we're not their bitches. They're ours, okay? I'm sorry I used that word, but that's just where we're at, okay? We are not their slaves. If there is anyone in that position, they are subservient, okay? Going back to my note here, I find it hilarious that all the Democratic senators talk like that if we weren't having this hearing today about Comey, because multiple of them brought this up, and they said if we weren't having this hearing, we'd be focusing on the real issues like COVID, and then they go back to all the people that they claim are dying from COVID. They talk like these senators, especially the Democratic ones, they talk like if they weren't using this time on Comey, that they'd be making these groundbreaking revelations and saving countless lives with their ideas and policies. And I want to really quickly remind everyone, let's just take a quick walk down memory lane. Look at all the states in our country right now that are failing miserably, that are burning their people and their cities to the ground, that are killing men, women, children, police, veterans, you name it. The places that are broke, that need bailouts, they're not Republican states. They're these Democratic states. So all these Democrats that are saying, we shouldn't be here. You guys should have us out here fixing COVID for you. No, we shouldn't. I want you nowhere near COVID. What you guys have already done with COVID that's already come to light looks really bad and really scary. And I'm just going to leave things at that. It is clear to me that the Democrats had a team strategy to tell America to ignore their own crimes. And by their own, I mean the Democrats' crimes. Ignore the Democrats' crimes. The election's already here. With the election already here, just ignore all this stuff that we did that was obviously treason. The election's already here. Let's just focus on the fact that we're trying to steal the election right now and you need to let us steal the election. That's their plan. That's clearly their game plan. They also tried to use, and they tried helplessly to convince us that the violence that is going across this country is the president's fault. And Booker came on and he used all of his time to make that painfully clear. And again, when Booker started speculating about racism across the country, and I'll point out again, Booker, your state is a miserable failure. You are an embarrassment. You cannot run anything, and the proof is in the pudding, and it shows. So again, you're going to sit here and trying to show me who the racists are? Tell me who the racists are? You're the one calling people to arms. You're the one letting people burn cities down. You're the one letting people kill police. You're the one doing all of this. So you can come on. He even got a little almost teared up at the end of what he was saying. Give me a break. You people are stupid if you think that we are as stupid as you think we are. I'm sorry. Again, let's hurry go. I only have 5% left of battery. So you guys are, this is going to sum up here in a minute because I have to. Do they really think that we do not know that all of the violence and death has been caused by the left and their armies that they have now been proven to be funding? Folks, go do some research on BLM. Go donate some money to BLM and look at where it ends up. I'll just leave it at that. And then go look at BLM's mission statement. Go look at what they say. It's like burn, destroy, kill. It's not good. Not positive things. Not people I think you want your daughters hanging out with. Booker started losing his mind because our president asked people to show up to the polls. And this goes back to what I said earlier. Booker was losing his marbles because the president said show up at the polls. He didn't say show up at the polls with pitchforks and whatever those things are. Whatever those, dang, I can't remember what those are called. The things that have the fire, the flames, whatever. He didn't tell people to go attack people. He didn't say go burn down cities like you guys have actually done. You and your Democratic senators. Don't take this. Get in front of their faces. Show them they're not welcome. No, that's you guys. He just told people to show up to the polls. He told people to go vote. But Booker was losing his mind trying to spin the fact that Trump told people to go and attack people. Give us a break, dude. We don't know. We don't believe this. We know you're a moron. No one's buying it. I'm sorry. He sat there and named all of these hate crimes. And again, this goes back hilariously to the fact that he named all these hate crimes. And one more time, he asked Comey to speculate. And on all of these hate crimes, memory, boom, yep, Trump's a racist. Booker even had the balls, and this is why I'm even talking about Booker. Booker had the balls to call our president an arsonist. He literally said our president is an arsonist. Someone we have elected to represent us in government with absolutely zero evidence to support a statement like that, said that our president is an arsonist. What an embarrassment. He should have been arrested right there and then. Him and his friends in their their Democratic states are actually involved in arson. And we let him sit and call our president an arsonist? This is really hard to watch, folks. If any of you guys watched this, because I did, start to finish, it is really, really hard. Hillary Clinton can send 600,000 emails that are slimy. And Jim Comey would just, those are extremely careless. But then they will take something that Donald Trump said, like, go to the polls, which means go and vote. And they will twist that into him being an arsonist who is spreading fire on a racist country. There's nothing that he said that says anything like that. But our representation is saying that on camera during a testimony for James Comey? Why are we even talking about these things? Can we see how desperate and pathetic they are? Folks, they have nothing. They're screwed. It is over. It is panic time. It is crap your pants time. And we watched all of them crap their pants on TV for however many hours that hearing was. It felt like it was 3 days. Please, 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 in the comments down below, tell me that you guys and gals see through what happened today. I'm getting toward the end of my notes here, so I'm going to paraphrase because I can see them already approaching the 30-minute mark, and I really honestly never like to make videos that are this long. Oh man, I hope that didn't just screw up my video because it said low battery. In closing, one of the last things that Lindsey Graham said, and I went back and forth. In fairness, there were times where, again, I think I said this earlier, I really didn't like Lindsey Graham today. And then there were times where I was like, okay, you know, he kind of said what needed to be said. But again, I need some follow through. But what Lindsey Graham said in closing, I thought was like the weakest closing ever. This is, again, where right when I start wanting to believe in the dude, he just really comes up, for lack of better words, flaccid at the end when we need dude to deliver. In closing, Lindsey Graham told us, watch out, because I'm going to call all these people that signed these warrants, and I'm going to call them in front of this room so that we can ask them these same questions. It's really all he said. So what he said was, I'm going to have a couple of the Republicans that are actually here to do their job and ask tough questions, and then I'll kind of be the in-between, and I'll act a little bit tough because I'm the Republican chairman here. And then I'll let all these Democrats spew lies and campaign for the other president or whatever, or try to re-lie to people about who's starting these fires, and re-lie to people about the riots, and re-lie to people about everything. Lindsey Graham, to me, said that they're not going to do anything about all of this, and that we need it to come from somewhere a lot more powerful, which is Horowitz and Barr and Durham and all these people that we have relied on to do much more than what so far we've seen. I want to say that I came away from this hearing inspired, but I did not. I'll be upfront and say that, and it's not upfront 33 minutes in, but I'll be in the rears and say that I didn't come away from this super inspired. But I also think that there were a lot of things that can be taken from it that, to me, still lead me to believe that there's much, much, much more to come. Thankfully, there's a lot of people I watch on YouTube and that I communicate with and message with that I'll probably get some insight as to what happened today that I'm missing. So stick with me on further videos or on upcoming videos about what else probably happened today that I might have missed. Really quickly, last night's debates, thoughts, and opinions. I've got to do this before we go. I know we're getting long here, but I got to say this. My thoughts and opinions. Yeah, we saw the side of Donald Trump that a lot of people don't like. I'm a big Donald Trump guy. I mean, you guys have to see that at this point. It's not because I love the dude's personality per se. It's not because I think he's a saint. It's because he has led this country extremely well, and you can't argue with the numbers, and the dude's just winning. Having said all of that, I know why some people don't love him. And we saw that side of him last night, and I wasn't super thrilled with it. There was a lot of times where I was kind of like, dude, just stop and let the guy talk. And I agree with some people on the 5 that said this today, I believe, when I watched. A lot of times the worst thing that he could do to Biden is let Biden talk. And the worst thing he could do to Chris Wallace sometimes is let Chris Wallace talk. But he did spend a lot of time going back and fighting with him. It's not because the guy's a total jerk, in fairness. And this is where I am going to defend the president a little bit. That was set up not to help him. Chris Wallace is not impartial in any way. He did lob softballs to Biden. He did stop Trump when he was on a roll at times. He did not give Trump times to rebuttal or rebut things that Biden said that were just factless, baseless accusations. So I get why Donald Trump did get chippy and did become that guy that kind of does do the little bit of a bully thing. But having said that and acknowledged that he wasn't his finest Donald Trump last night, he did say some things that were really in your face, Joe. He told Joe he was dumb. He told Joe he wasn't smart. He made it very clear that he's got Joe by the short and curlies. There are plenty of things you can go and watch that the president said that if you read between the lines, our president made some things very, very clear. The ball is moving. The Great Awakening is happening. The storm is here. And I do believe that there are a lot of people in a lot of trouble. I don't care what people try and convince all of us, just like everyone tried to do today. Thank you, everyone who's stuck in with one of my longest videos. I'm going to let you get off. I've got a lot of stuff to jump on today. One more time, Arizona, October 22nd through the 24th. I believe it's October 24th. Link in the description. $17 is all to come hang out with me and a bunch of my friends that are big in this BaQery movement. Thank you to everybody in the BaQery that keeps me straight and on the narrow. Helps me keep my head on straight. Helps me follow the 48-hour rule. Everybody out there that supports me at RedRacerVideo.com, thank you as well. I'm going to let you slide. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.